Well, it was the town I grew up in. It was a small town built around a military base, Fort Monmouth. And that's what brought my family here. Marti Kijak, married to Frank Kijak, and we've lived here 27 years. Initially, my father was career Army, and he opted to retire out of Fort Monmouth. And then we stayed and grew up here.
My name's Frank Kijak, and I'm the person she's been married to for 40 years. My family was originally from up north.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in Newark and Irvington.
Yeah, someone mentioned to me, yeah, that you were in Newark and Irvington.
Yeah, I was born in in Beth Israel Hospital, and went to Archbishop Walsh High School in Irvington, and we moved down here after we got married.
When you get to be 18, 19, you want to stretch your wings a little bit, and you leave, which I did. Moved to North Jersey, where I went to work for Prudential Insurance.
And we met in this insurance business.
Mm-hmm.
I'd spent some time in the Marine Corps, which I guess gives me that in common with the governor.
Okay.
Also spent some time in the seminary. I don't think he did that. So.
No.
I don't believe so.
This is the town I grew up in. Moved away for a brief time, married, and came back with my children. Our children grew up here.
But we've lived here, yeah. We've lived here for 26 years. We've lived here in New Jersey most of our life, with the exception of about 6 years, which we spent in the Midwest. We lived in outside of Kansas City in Overland Park, Kansas, from 76 to 82.
And we decided to settle in Monmouth County. And it was ironic that the houses that we liked the most were the ones that were right here in Eatontown, so we came back to Eatontown.
A couple of our kids had some of the same teachers that my wife had at Monmouth Regional when we came back. Like I said, we have been here a long time. We're just very, very comfortable here.
What made you decide to host this event?
The mayor asked us,
Uh-huh.
and we've known Jerry, we like Jerry, and we felt it was doing him a favor, and we felt it was going to be interesting. Not many people can say they've had the governor of the state in their home.
Have you guys thought of a couple questions you want to ask him? And I'm not asking you to run a line or anything like that, but I mean, if you like.
But the one thing I read in your budget proposal was about not being able to reduce, take the tax
deduction
on taxes. You know.
I got to tell you, I have heard so much concern about this. I've been in. And as I told you, I walked in all these parades. I did a town hall meeting in Morris County, and I'm in the rethink mode with regard to the deduction, at least for as much as we can afford, maybe up to 150,000 or something along those lines.
When somebody actually had called and asked what I thought of it, I had mentioned to him. I said, I think the governor is a little bit courageous. I said, in an election year, to put out a budget that's going to have an impact on people's taxes and on rebates and the rest of that takes a little bit of courage. I mean, and I give him credit for that. I have questions about other things, in terms of things that I guess, why don't we look at some of the other expenses? I mean, I think those are issues, and I think those are issues that everybody talks about. I mean, I have never had to deal with unions in my lifetime, but it's something that he's faced with all the time. And to me, that's a difficult piece. I mean, I think the unions cost us a lot of money as a state. And I think you're into contracts that are difficult, if not impossible, to get out of. And I think most people don't understand that. I mean, if there's a way to do that, that's something I think that needs to be badly addressed. In your particular case, I've never had to deal with things like unions.
Right.
I don't know how you turn around and accomplish what you want to accomplish when you're tied into contracts in some cases you had nothing to do with, some things that you've inherited. I don't know how you fix those.
First of all, we've reduced the size. That lowers your benefits. I mean, your costs and your benefits. Second of all, we have renegotiated new contracts. For the first time, by the way, New York City doesn't do this yet even, we have workers paying for part of their health care. It's not what we would like to see. It's about 10% as opposed to what I would get with private sector, but we'll get there. I mean, we've capped the defined benefit program at about $100,000, so you only get defined contribution program against that. Would I like it a little lower? Yeah, I would have. I like getting something in a negotiation with a union is a good start. We changed the retirement age, which, by the way, had gotten changed in 2001. to 50. From
That's all right.
60 to 55, we're now up to 62. We've reversed that whole trend. We asked the public employees to put more money into the pension system themselves. So we've gotten some good stuff that you would do. You know, it's not the same as you would do in a private sector where you don't have to do with a union. You negotiate a contract, and then it's in place for 3 years, then you gotta negotiate another contract.
Do you think these bailouts should be going on, bailing out Chrysler and AIG and all that?
You probably don't. I've long thought that, and believe very strongly, that Chrysler and a number of the banks should have gone through the bankruptcy process.
That's right.
What about the home foreclosures? Have they gotten any better?
You know, on home foreclosures, the state of New Jersey went from being number 10 in the country on a number of foreclosures, give or take 1 or 2 spots. In the first 2 months of this year, we're back in the 35. We've almost put a halt.
So you guys are looking forward to an interesting discussion then?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's going to be lively. I hope it's lively. I think it's all going to be on how he introduces the subject and people start asking questions, I'm sure. I'd be ashamed if he's come all this way and nobody...
Nobody talks.
Like that, but I mean, if he, like,